Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Belle Collective. So, the episode starts out with Latrice and Letitia meeting up because Latrice wasn't at the last brunch when Letitia announced everything about Ferris Street, even though that announcement barely even got out. Anyway, so yeah, she met up with her, and she let her know that it's a over $2 million project, and she wants to be able to get entrepreneurs like herself involved. And Marie was the first and only person to stand up and say that she was going to help. And so that kind of made Latrice look kind of like, okay, girl. And so she was like, I already know. I just hope that y'all will be able to put y'all differences aside for the sake of this and just come together. So we're going to see if that actually comes to fruition when it comes time for them to really show and prove. Tambra went to see her doctor when she's actually trying to figure out if she can try to carry. And despite the fact that she's already frozen some eggs, he went in and he has discovered that she has 4 more fibroids. And if she wants to be the one to carry, they're going to have to perform the surgery to remove those fibroids. She's going to have to heal for like 3 months or more, and then try to conceive in whichever way that she might want to do that, if that's what she wants to do right now. So she's getting bad news all around. And time is very, very important. And a lot of people don't understand that. Her age is a factor, and, she has less eggs. And, it's just a lot of people don't understand what all goes into this, especially if you are the woman. So I really feel bad for her in that regard. And, because my sister went through this. Every time we looked around, my sister's fibroids were out of control and ridiculous. Now, my sister does not want to have kids and all of that. Like, she ain't got no man. Like, she is the type of person who was always focused on school and work. And in all honesty, I don't even believe she's ever had sex with anybody before. Like, that's how focused she is on stuff. She don't care about none of that stuff. She's not moved by stuff like that. So it would not surprise me if she's never even had a sexual encounter before. But anyway, with Tambra, she definitely wants to have kids. And she's, had little discussions here and there with her friends and with that ex who she was with for like 16 years. But now this is something that has put a damper on that. And I really wish that she will go on ahead and consider having somebody to carry for her, so that she can definitely have her child, because it's a lot. It is a whole lot going through that. And I mean, I've had them too. I've had a lot of stuff going on internally myself, but since I don't plan on having kids, I'm not really worried about it. So yeah, y'all, it's just a lot going on for her. Antoinette had a meeting with a lot of dental colleagues that do a variety of things. I saw one woman was a dental consultant, and like everybody else seems to be like dentist or whatever. But yeah, she actually invited Kaylon to that. And I mean, one part of me is like, okay, I get it, because you want to show her that everybody is not like the group of ladies that you brought around her the last time, which to me still didn't make sense because it was for Black women entrepreneurs. But anyway, she just wanted to show that everybody's not like that. But she invited her to that so that she could see what they were talking about and kind of have that experience to be shown through them, but in a completely different way, the way that she probably thought that it was going to be displayed the first time. So anyway, they were doing what they were doing, and they were just discussing how everything came about for them as they were on their journey to becoming the doctors that they are in the dental practice, and how it was, as far as, it was very lacking when coming in contact with people who look like them. Antoinette has is doing something amazing, which is if you want to be someone who is interested, that lives in Mississippi, in that field, she will pay for the entrance exam to the school. If you, because it's a test that you have to take. And if you plan on doing that, then she will pay for every single black student who takes that exam. I think that's awesome. That is amazing. So yeah, Kaylon said that she got a lot from it, and you know, despite what happened at that brunch, she was able to see both sides of it, and it's just the fact that she'd never seen her race attacked, and yet whatever. We ain't even gonna go into that no more. But ultimately, she eventually, you know, switched gears and was like, well, you know, I'm having a rededication for my home, if you will, and a housewarming again. But yeah, so Kaylon was like, well, who was going to be invited? And so she was like, Marie is not coming. I think Marie, you know, just said she wasn't going to come. And because of their connection and kind of close friendship, she's not going to invite Letitia. And I'm like, she ain't even gonna be there, so it's not like you don't have to feel like somebody's ganging up on you. So I'm just like, that's stupid, but whatever. But yeah, so I guess everybody else gonna be there if they can make it, but those two aren't gonna be there, and whatever. So today is Latrice's 5-year anniversary with her husband, and she has, you know, told him that she expects certain things to happen, and that, you know, she just wants certain things. So she get home and she's confused because she doesn't see him. She doesn't see flowers. She don't see alcohol. She don't see food. She looking in microwaves and stoves and like looking through everything. Then she was like, I'm gonna try not to get mad. I'm gonna try not to get upset. So then she ends up calling out to him, and he was like, yeah, babe. And she asked him to come. He came with like a random gift bag that had one single red rose in it and a bag of flour. And I was like, what in the world? So anyway, she got upset about that. And so he was like, look, let me go change my clothes and I'll be back. So he came back, and he actually came back with a red blindfold, and he whisked her away to another part of their land, and on the golf cart, mind you. And, you know, he had a whole little setup where it had love and it had candles going down the stairs, and there was dinner put together. And so she was like, oh my God, babe, what made you do this? I don't know who put you up to this. And I was just like, girl, it was you. And then he said the same thing. I was just like, girl, why? The theatrics. The theatrics for what? But anyway, I would have been like, oh my gosh, he listened to me. I told him that I wanted all of these things. Yay, he listened. That's what I would have said. But she was just like, oh my gosh, who put you up to this? I know you didn't come up with this on your own. And he was like, I mean, I didn't do the setup, but I paid somebody to set this up. I know what you like. He had purchased her a Rolex watch, and they in the confessional, and she was like, my husband bought me this watch because he knew I deserved it. Meanwhile, he was like, nah, I bought her this watch so that she know what time it is, and that she need to get back to the house and you know what time it is, so we can continuously be around each other all day, every day. And I'm just like, what in the world? Anyway, so they started talking, and so she was like, oh, well, I have abandonment issues, and I'm glad that she acknowledges that, but at the same time, I'm gonna need for her to actually go and really get it addressed by seeing someone, because every time we look up, she get into it with him, and it's apparent that she's with him because of said abandonment issues. No matter how she want to try to play it up and say, oh, he looked good, and he looked like a mix between Obama, Denzel Washington, and whoever else she said, and all of that. Like, girl, come on now. You doing all of this because all the men in your life have passed away or in jail and all these other things. So let's just be really clear and honest about that. So anyway, they end up getting into it, and I'm just like, what in the world? She'd have sat up here and said to him that he has brought up other women, and he was like, I don't talk about other women. Like, what are you talking about? Like, he took really huge offense to that. And so she was trying to make it seem like, don't try to make it seem like that ain't what it was. You have said that before. And he like was like, yeah, are you walking or are you riding back to the house? Because he was done at this point with the dinner, the whole anniversary ambiance, all of that was over with. And so they got into it, and she didn't want to get into things, so he went on ahead and just drove off. So she was like, I just told him about my abandonment issues, and this is what he do. And I'm like, but I don't understand why she brought that up in the moment. And I mean, she gonna say, well, I don't want to come off like I'm an insecure woman. And he was like, yeah, but you do sound like it though. She is insecure. It don't matter how much money you got, no matter how much of an entrepreneur you are, you need to get all of this stuff addressed, because the way that you acted, it don't even make no sense. Like, she bringing stuff up out of thin air to talk about it, and I'm just like, what in the world? Unless it's some stuff that's behind the scenes that we don't know about, what is the point of all of this? That man is with you 24 hours a day just about. I'm just like, where do you find the time to say any of this stuff? Now, if he bringing this up and we just ain't seeing it, okay, I understand. It's very valid. But other than that, I don't get it. Maria's at this play area waiting on her son to come, and her husband, Cedric, pops up. She's kind of surprised, but, you know, pleasantly surprised, so I'm glad about that. They have definitely been in a really strained place right now, so for him to be there, she was, you know, really shocked but happy. And they were kind of dressed alike. I was like, what kind of setup was this? Okay, somebody trying to make it seem like didn't nobody know that she was there. And I mean, did he actually pay attention to what she had on before she left the house? Because they were dressed alike. But anyway, the son finally came, and you know, she's there with her grandbabies, and she told him straight up, you gonna have to graduate with a degree. You are the head of everything. You are the oldest child, and I'm not gonna always be here. She's running 10 different businesses and opening other locations of the mental health facilities and all that, right? And we find out that she actually has lupus. So my heart actually sank when she said that, because when I was in junior high and high school, there was this girl who I was in classes with, and one minute she would be like rail thin, and the next she would blow up, and I was confused. And then, you know, we found out that she had lupus, and she got pregnant at one point in time, and I learned that it's very, very touch and go and can be really scary for people who have lupus to actually be pregnant and go through a pregnancy while having lupus, especially if it's really, really like heavy on you like that, like it was for her. So yeah, she had the baby, she was all right, but even after she had the baby, there were times that we thought we were going to be planning this girl's funeral, and that we were going to be going to a funeral before we graduated high school. But to my knowledge, she's still alive, and her lupus seems to be under control. And something that's a little bit closer to home is my brother's best friend's sister had lupus, and she gave birth to a couple of kids, but she has since passed away. She passed away like 3 to 5 years ago. And yeah, I remember when I got the news, and I cried, because when I first learned of her having it, I was like, okay, is she managing it? You know, I had all these questions because I'd already experienced this with the girl who I went to school with. So I already know how serious it can be. And she seemed all right, and then out of nowhere, she just passed away. And I mean, the family was devastated. They had to take on taking care of her kids, and it's just a lot, y'all. But yeah, I am glad that she's managing it, but I'm kind of like, woo, Jesus, because she has to take 12 pills a day just to manage it. Like, it is very, very heavy. And the fact that she has had to have this meeting with her son to let him know, I'm gonna need for you to get your life together, because I'm not gonna always be here. And you know, her health is up one day and down the next. She didn't feel good that day, But, you know, despite not feeling good on the inside, she still tries to look good on the outside, y'all. It's just a lie. It's a really, really heavy situation. But I really want him to get his life together too, because all these children, and he ain't even got the first degree. He ain't really got nothing going on like that, even though he's supposed to be in school and playing basketball. I mean, that ain't always gonna pan out. I'm not trying to speak nothing on him because I ain't nobody. I'm just saying anything can happen. There have been so many people who were talented when we were in school, and something happened. They pulled something and broke something and whatever else, and they are not playing baseball, they are not playing basketball, they are not playing football because an injury took them out for the rest of their life. So they had to have a second game plan, and they had to go and get degrees. So it is what it is. But yeah, y'all, I just, whoo, Jesus, that took me back. But lupus ain't no joke. I just, ooh, Lord. So yeah. Wow, I wasn't expecting her to say that. I feel sorry for her, Lord. That's a lot. So, like I said, I'm glad that she is, you know, she has a handle on it. So the day has come for Antoinette's sage and champagne situation at her house, where she is basically rededicating her house to herself, free of her ex-husband and all of that. And when everybody got there, they were wondering why certain people weren't there, and Kaylon was saying that, you know, she is not understanding why certain person is always invited to stuff and certain people just shouldn't be invited to stuff anymore, because every time you say something wrong to them, they want to take off earrings and shoes and all this other stuff. And Tamber was like, never in all the 5 to 7 years that I have been hosting these events, especially for her, have we ever had a situation like that to pop off before. So, and, you know, Tamber said in her confessional that she doesn't like how, you know, things are being said like this about people, basically behind their back. And, you know, you need to just be respectful of people and not be like this, especially in the presence of other people. And, you know, basically tearing down a black woman essentially in front of a white woman is just a no-go. So anyway, they get to the sage part of this mess. And why in the world does she have sage like this? Like, the sage is like this and like this thick, and I'm just like, why? And it was several of them, and it was to the point where I don't know why she had them that big, but thought that a really small lighter was gonna light them. She had to light them on her stove, and it was like a nice number of people there, and everybody had one, and I'm like, this don't make no sense. Y'all smoked out. For what reason? Looking like y'all having a whole barbecue, but y'all holding the sage. So anyway, they started going all around the house, sage and stuff. And Latrice especially wanted to make sure she got into her bedroom, sage the bed, and sage her lingerie, and make sure that she has some good juju, as she wanted to call it in this moment, to say that, you know, we're going to bring a big black man to come into this space. That's what we're going to invite. I would be interested to know and see, let me put it like this. I would be interested to see Antoinette's history, if you will, because she made a point to say before they started saging that she's black and Native American, and that the saging is something that is based in Native American history. A lot of black people tend to say something about them being Native American in all of this, and in all honesty, they don't even have the percentage that is required to even claim that part of them. Some of them don't even have it at all. Like, I'm just like, ooh, why y'all do that? But yeah, I would love to see what that is, what that percentage is for her. Because I think for me, I think it's 0.5 or something. Y'all, I forgot. It's been a long time. I don't know what I did with the results that I had. And I think I need to do it again, because I was going off of what my brother had. And I felt like, oh, well, since it's my brother, whatever. Mine actually might be more. So I'm going to do it again. When, I don't know. But anyway, the percentage that was up there, it was actually more than the people who claim day in and day out, oh, I'm Native American. I have Native American in me. And then when they did their tests, I had a higher percentage than them. And I was just like, That's something that a lot of black people got to stop doing. You want to claim everything. You want to claim that you everything but black. Like you scream from the rooftops, I got Native American in my blood. But when it comes to black, unless there is a certain situation popping off, y'all want to claim to be everything else. I'm sorry, I just had to say that because that's something that has always irked my soul. But anyway, they doing this mess, and I'm surprised that the smoke alarms didn't go off before they did. They finally started going off, and I was just like, the house been smoked out. What is going on? That might be something she need to check into because it took quite a while for the smoke alarms to even go off. Because I was just like, it was way too much smoke before they even started going throughout the house. We are now at the end of the episode, and Latrice has decided to make up with her husband. So when he got home from wherever he came from, there was someone playing a saxophone, somebody playing a piano, rose petals on the floor, and he was directed to follow the rose petals and all that good stuff. And he had a drink in his hand, and she was waiting for him, and she apologized for how their anniversary went. So it's a do-over from their anniversary. And she read something off to him saying that she was sorry for accusing him of cheating on her and all this other stuff. And so he was like, in the future, understand that words hurt. And, I don't be sitting up here talking about other women. I got your front and your back and you don't even know it. And she actually ended up getting whoever her personal masseuse is to kind of rub him down. And y'all, the night that he presented her with the Rolex, she took it off and put it on the dresser. And when she got up the next morning, he had taken it back. So while they were there, in this moment, he gave the Rolex back. And I'm just like, ooh, child. I have a problem. I'm sorry, y'all. This is just me. Other people who are, I guess, materialistic won't feel the way I feel. But I really think that the way that a lot of these people react when it comes to material things of the world, it's like that's the value that they put on relationships and love instead of the actual action. Like, oh, they gave me a Rolex, so oh my God. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, I love you. And when she got the rose, the single rose, the way she acted was like, oh, okay. And I mean, yeah, he was wrong for that flower, but the actual bag of flour. But yeah, I just noticed that a lot of people put the value on the material things and not on what they need to. They put the focus on the wrong thing. They are actually worried about what they're going to get versus what they should be actually getting out of their relationship that is actually meaningful. And I always found fault with that. I ain't here for it. I don't like stuff like that, but whatever. Do what y'all do. Anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed this recap review of Belle Collective. Please like this video. I really would appreciate that. Subscribe to my channel if you have not. And let's get down in the comment section and discuss all this foolishness. Anyway, I will see y'all next time. Y'all have a good weekend and be safe. Bye.